Today's wealth principle is 50 real estate investors don't give up. Kids today. So Ryan McDermott, what is your take on never giving up, either in real estate or finances? Let's give Ryan McDermott a round of applause. Bring him on.
All right. Yeah, no, never giving up. Just kind of thinking back to kind of an old sort of memory of, when I started my business around 2004, 2005, and slowly was building it. And then when 2008 hit, I was struggling just like everybody else. And, I was probably feeling sorry for myself. And, but then, I would kind of flail from feeling sorry for myself to being inspired. And, and the next thing that you can do if you're in sales, and FYI, we're all in sales, is to pick the phone up, right? You got to pick the phone up and you got to call people that you know. And so I had gone through everybody I knew here in the Boston area. And so I started calling, I called the CEO of the last company that I had worked for as an employee, and just to get a meeting with him. And this guy answered the phone. He said, "Come down and see me. Come down, drive down to Maryland, and I will meet with you." And I met with him, and there was nothing I could help him with at that time. But we had a conversation, and what I kind of learned in that conversation was that I rolled into his office on fumes, right? Literally and figuratively. And this guy was probably worth had a huge company, 70, 80 employees, and he was on fumes. But for him, he's been through it before. And what he was doing the exact same thing that I was doing. He's like, "I'm going down, but I still got my cell phone in my hand while I'm going down so I can pick up that last call to save this thing." And that guy today is retired. He sold his business, years later after that downturn, and super successful. But that taught me a lesson that doesn't matter where you are, you can't give up. Everybody is going through it, whether you realize it or not. And if you have that mental fortitude to move forward, then that's what you got to do. So anyway, thanks.
Let's give Ryan McDermott, our financial advisor, financial planner, the keeper of the net worth tracker, the guardian of the net worth tracker, the teacher of how do you increase your net worth? How do you get rid of those liabilities? Let's give him a round of applause. He's absolutely amazing. Love having him in the communities, especially he's a millionaire, and he did it through real estate and some really good, sharp investments, and his business is growing as well. Let's see, Dr. Terry Wager, you're up. Actually, Doug, let's do Doug McGurk.
Let's do Doug McGurk.
Just in case. I know he's got his daughter sometimes
house full
to go do things.
No, I got it's been crazy the last 24 hours. So I gotta say that today was particularly timely and good for many reasons, just from some examples that I've experienced in the last couple of days. So thank you. In regards to like the mindset, I hope everyone's really seeing how important that is, that it really is everything, that all of the techniques, everything that's on Alchemist University and names on deeds, all that, while we dive into the mindset, that's the most important part. And oftentimes people start going, oh, well, they start worrying about the hows of the technical part. Oh, I don't have the money, I don't have this, but it's really about the mindset and your relationship with it. One of the things, if you heard Walter talk about his belief around tenants, I have the best tenants, right? And he's setting up a system, his mindset around it attracts that as opposed to repels it. If I'm thinking about, oh, I hope I don't get a shitty tenant, well, now you've just focused on it. Now that's what you're going to be attracting, you're going to be creating. And then also around intention and mindset and all of that, two things happened. So last week I went to ARIA, and one of the people who came there was someone who I had met at an event like 2 years ago. We just met, and he texted me randomly. He had a deal, as a wholesaler, had a deal, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, and I ended up doing it. Well, hooked him up into my community. He came to the event, David Dweck's event, And on the way, he had just sent me. I'm like, now, because of the activity, the first guy on his list. So now that's the thing. Once you start taking action, you become the go-to as opposed to feeling like you're struggling. So the more activity you take, the more you get up in sort of the person's sort of sphere, and they go, "Oh wow, yeah, Doug just did a deal. Oh, Alicia just did a deal. Boom!" And then you'll be the first call. So then I unfortunately was unable to get on a call with Dorina yesterday because Thursday night before our call on Friday, he's like, I got this property, and the only time he had was like 3:30 for me to go meet him, which was 3 o'clock. I thought I'd be able to be done by then, and it was further away than I thought. But point being, again, it's the activity that brings us up. And the only way we get that activity is by having the right mindset going into it, that we're going to attract the lenders, we're going to attract the partners, we're going to find that property. The opportunity is everywhere. So just really, and the last piece, at that event, there's a woman, her name's Olga. She may or may not be coming to the Masters of Influence. She has a scheduling conflict, but she came to an event that Heidi and I did 2 years ago, right before COVID. And since then, she's like, I have my board. Everything I put on my board, I've accomplished. You guys set me on a new path. She's like, I just did a $2.7 million dollar contract deal last week. She was up for deal of the month, and none of this would have happened had I not. And it wasn't, she wasn't giving us credit, but I just want to kind of what Walter was saying, God helps those who helps themselves. So all we did was excite an idea of possibility. She went out, to Walter's point, went out and took the action. If you don't take the action, if you don't make the calls, if you don't invest your time, your money, your resources, if you don't invest in yourself, and sometimes that investment in yourself is overcoming that fear, and to Ryan's point, is making that call to somebody and just reaching out. And I've built a huge resource, in my world, and I still sometimes forget to keep it alive, reach out to them, and just keep the energy going, which is what Walter's doing here. What we're all doing here is keeping the energy going, keeping the community alive so that opportunities can flow. So please take advantage of them and connect even more deeply with everyone here and participate as much as humanly possible, because you will get results.
Let's give Doug McGurk a round of applause. Absolutely true. And Masters of Influence is going to be a powerful event for all of our real estate agents, our real estate investors, our business owners, our entrepreneurs who are looking to master this up here so that they can influence the world. And obviously, I will also be talking about some social media influence. I will pepper some of that into the event so that you can use all of the tools and the strategies that Doug is giving you to get control of yourself, so then you can influence others. Well, if you learn how to do this on social media, which, by the way, who thinks I know how to do a little bit of influence on social media? Who's seen that I have some skills there? It's not by accident, my friends. Everything that I do is intentional. If it was up to me, I would not be on social media at all. But because it is important for the community, it is important for our growth and for me and Ron's bigger mission of being the education disruptor of the world, I have to go out and do it. I had to learn how to influence. I had to learn how to get attention. I had to go and learn the process so that we can make the planet a better place, so we can build our 100 millionaires who are inspired to build 100 millionaires. There is no choice for people like us. We have to go and do something. Otherwise, what's the point? Like, I'm not going to go and party the rest of my life away. I don't have it in me. Like, I've got to go and I got to do something that feels like I'm growing. So a Master of Influence is going to give you the skills. It's something that we were asked to build. Just like everything else we've ever built in the training company, we were asked by the community, said, hey, I want to learn NLP. I want to learn hypnosis. I want to learn influence. I want to learn how to do the frameworks and the modeling. How does this work? Okay. Well, Doug told me, he's like, the only way we can do this is a live event. There's no way we can teach all of this, via Zoom. Some of this stuff just has to be live, because a lot of influence is personal. It starts here and then you put it out there. So we will be live 3 days. I've been asked if we'll do this training via virtually. I just don't know how. Honestly, this is a very intensive training. Like, if we could do it virtually, we would do it virtually. We're still bouncing ideas of how to do it, but it really is, a one-on-one. There won't be more than 30 people in the room, I think. I don't think there'll be more than 30, 35 people in the room, because it is very intensive training. It's, it's very intimate. Hence the care, if you're going to be at Master of Influence, in Orlando in, I think, February 4th to the 6th. Awesome. So if you don't know about the event, if you do want some more information, ask Dorina, or you go to ibuildmillionaires.com/event, and Dorina will hook you up. Next up, we've got Dr. Terry Wager. Let's give Dr. Terry a round of applause.
Yeah, thank you. You know, the thing I think about this idea of never giving up, I think about the other side of it, of how we tend to easily give up. And unfortunately, all of us at one time or another have given up on something. And how it works is we have this cycle, and it started off by our ego. And I know I recognized this in school when I was a young kid. I quit school in the 11th grade. Yeah, I'm Dr. Terry, but I quit school in the 11th grade. Because here's the thing, fear grips us all at some point. And if we're not ready for it, it grips us. And then we start looking outside of ourselves for what's going to come after us. I mean, it's just regular idea of protecting ourselves. And then we start blaming. We start putting, you know, the blame on everybody else and seeing how they're doing something wrong, and we're not looking at ourselves. And I know I've done that. And haven't you done that too? Haven't you at some point looked at how other people are causing your pain? And this is the cycle of quitting. We start to actually step back because people are getting in our way. The deal isn't working out right. The people aren't agreeable. And the more that happens, the more we get overwhelmed, stressed, and try to push our point and try to make things happen the way we want, instead of stepping back and thinking about, wait a minute, what can I do? How can I bring something different than my stress, than my fear into the situation? And we go into the situation running, fearful, trying to make it happen the way we want, scared we're going to lose everything. And then, at some point, the fear of losing just makes us say, fuck it. Throw it away. I'll go try something else. And that becomes a pattern that we have, or a habit. And we don't even know we're doing it. It's just from that scarcity mindset, the way it is. So where is this showing up in your life? Where else is showing up in your life? Where does it show up in your relationships? Where does it show up in your deals? Where does it show up in your day-to-day? That's what we got to look at, because the fact of the matter is, every one of us have this happening. Every one of us have this happening at some level, at some place. And what we as coaches and what Quilters doing as mentor, what we're asking you to do is dig deep inside of yourself and get rigorously honest about where this stuff has happened so we can let it go. When we can let it go and we can start having the possibility thinking that Doug's talking about, that Quilter's talking about, that I talk about, and start going, where can I step in? Who can help me? How can I get what I'm looking for instead of let the fear devour me? That's when we can start really living our lives the potential we have. Because every one of us on this call is proving by being on this call that we have that potential. Igniting it is getting vulnerable about where those fears lie. Now, I like the positive thinking, but I like faith thinking better. Because positive thinking is like going, something's there, but I'm not going to look at it. But if I just think positively, it'll be okay. No, faith that when I look at it, I can come up with an answer. And we can take care of it. And so when we take care of it, that's the action of faith, walking through it and asking for help. That's how we become millionaires. That's how we become successful. That's what I got.
Let's give Dr. Terry Wager a round of applause. It's a phenomenal lesson. And like I was saying, I was talking to Ken Walls, who does the Grow Live Academy, and he has told me that the easiest way to build his business, to expand his reach, is to go live on Facebook. Can't scare if you know we are live on Facebook right now. Yes. So Facebook is a powerful resource for real estate investors because the average age of your motivated seller is somewhere between 65 and 80 years old. But the average age of their children is between 40 and 50 years old. And that's the demographic that is sitting out on Facebook. The average age of the Facebook user is somewhere between 36 years old to 45 years old. So reaching out to their children who are looking to solve their parents' problems is a good strategy. And I was just thinking, I don't hand out my cell phone anymore, but I do allow people to message me on Alchemist Nation. So who's not been on alchemistnation.com before? Who's never been? Is there anybody? All right. So if you go to alchemistnation.com, I will quickly show you. This is for everybody on Facebook. And do you see Alchemist Nation on the screen? Yes. For some reason, I don't see your screen. There you are. Awesome. Okay. So if you come over to members, you'll see I'm probably the top member. You can hit that. And then right over here, you can hit message. I can't message myself. So you can go to Dorina and say hello. In the say hello section, you can have a conversation. You can also get access to my business partner. Who here has ever had a question that you thought I should ask Ron that one? Yes. Ron is active. Even he and I have had conversations on Alchemist Nation. They're very intense, very involved conversations here on Alchemist Nation. So you guys have access to this. I am going to drop an invitation link. This is an ambassador link. Every one of you has the ability to grab one of these links. If you haven't already created an account, go and create an account using the link in the chat, because as ambassadors, we get different levels of status. See, I'm bronze because I've only invited 6 people. Dorina is silver because she's invited 12. By the way, if Dorina drops an invite link, use her link, because at 25, she gets gold status. Answer the camera if you know you want gold status, if you want to be able to get that many people into the community. Absolutely. It's a really cool resource. One more thing I want to show you that we added. I just added this last week because we were in training that Doug was doing about NLP. I added DISC, a cool little training in here about, D's, I's, how it works, because I kept getting asked, how do we use DISC? I gave you my charts. This is a chart that I use all the time for real estate investors on how they like to lead generate. So D's prefer expired listings, circle door prospecting. I's prefer networking groups. S's prefer farming. And C's prefer direct mail, online lead gen. Hence, the Canvas is a valuable resource. Knowing what kind of DISC personality types are good for lead generation. Awesome. So I'll keep expanding this training. Is that something you'd be interested in? If I keep expanding this out, make it a little more valuable? Awesome. I may even ask Doug and Terry, because they're also DISC trained, on some things to add in there. There's more courses for real estate agents I just added. I'll be continuously adding and bringing over some of our trainings from Alchemist University. Ron and I were talking about that last night. We may eliminate the university and shift everything over to this much easier platform. Hands to the camera if you like that we're constantly improving. Just making it easier for you. One place, one login, one simple process where you can not only be in a training, but get something into your head and then apply it by messaging somebody and say, okay, like, who should I find who does this? Let me go and connect. Yes, it gets a lot easier. The more you ask us questions, the more you challenge us to improve ourselves, the more we improve ourselves. It's just one more excitement for us. Let's bring on Mitch Jorsky. I see the Scaredy Cat Guide to Real Estate Investing is in the room and knowing what the heck Bitcoin is. Mitch, how are you staying positive when the whole crypto market is crashing?
Talking about market's not crashing. It's creating buying opportunities. See, mindset. You know what I like? I like that Ryan, Doug, and Terry all said things that were like connected to what I was thinking, and which goes back to being around like-minded people. So if you want to have success, hang out with people that have success, aka people that don't suck. I also like that you showed the little new tool in between, because Doug and Terry are very tight with their thoughts and deliveries. And then there's the roller coaster that is the Scaredy Cat. So we're going to go all over the fucking place. And I apologize for cursing, because there's going to be more of it, because all I could think of, and it was funny right off the bat, Ryan said, pick up the phone and dial. And I'm like, Wolf of Wall Street. I was just thinking of that. And it holds true. And like we can paraphrase it, but just to like, do part of the quote, he talks about, you're behind on your credit cards. Good. Pick up the phone, start dialing. It's like your girlfriend thinks you're a worthless loser. Good. Pick up the phone, start fucking dialing, right? And he goes on and on. And think about this, right? Real estate, your plumber's not calling you back. Good. Pick up the phone, start dialing, call another one. Same thing with lenders. In fact, I tell this story often. There's a real estate investor that I'm friends with, or I should say was friends with, God rest her soul. She called 85 lenders when she started out to find a lender that would do what she wanted to do. 85. How many people would have gave up after 12? I would have, not even gonna lie. I would have at 12, I would have been like, F this. Like, I'm doing crypto, right?
I
85
have found
lenders.
12 to be a very effective number in the lender world. So I'm probably with you, Mitch.
And that's why actually it is 12, because that's my experience, like 12 or 13. And usually when I call about 12 or 13, it tends to be a lot of times that 10th or 11th that I end up using. But yeah, so like calling a dozen lenders is not out of the norm. And this goes back to an experience I had again, we talk about meetups. Doug was just at a meetup last week. I was at a meetup last week that I normally don't go to. It's a real estate meetup that literally they asked me to come to because they wanted to chat crypto. But I got something out of it for real estate because one of my friends that goes to other meetups I see, she was there and I was telling her some stuff or whatever. I was having drama with an electrician, drama with a plumber, drama with a tenant. And she just looks at me and she's like, you realize this is all normal stuff, right? And I was like, I had to like swallow my pride for a second. And I was like, I know, but can I just vent for 1 minute? And she's like, I get it. But here's the thing, like, she's a freaking killer. Like, she doesn't mess around. Like every one of those problems I basically like dropped. She was like telling me a story about how she had the same thing and she drops the hammer on people and keeps it moving. She's not afraid to fire people. She's not afraid to bring other people in mid-job. She like, and I was like, Jesus Christ. I was like, you are fearless and also brutal, but you're crushing it. And here's the thing. No one would ever tell you she's not a nice person. She's just a no nonsense type of woman. Right. And I was like, damn. So like, people look at me, it's like, all right, great. I'm a millionaire. I have real estate. I have crypto, like all these things. I'm still learning and growing every day. And I have people that I, on paper, might have more success than that will still turn me around sometimes and get me right. And it goes back to the people you're around, like-minded people, network, right? So in the end, it literally is pick up the phone and start dialing, right? You can't find a case in point. We're in season up in the Northeast, right? It snowed. You got to get your properties plowed. Guess what? Can't find a plow guy. What do you got to do? Pick up the phone, start dialing. My partner literally called 20 plow guys over the last not even week because our plow guy actually quit because of we have one property where the tenants are a pain in the ass. They're inherited tenants. I'm still quote unquote what's the word I'm looking for? Educating them. I don't want to say training them. It sounds condescending. I'm educating them on how to coexist with service providers so we can provide them a good place to live and things can get done. Yeah. So that wasn't fun. And it's like, all right, we got to find a new plow guy. And he's just like, call. And everyone's busy as hell because, snowfall happens. And I hear there's going to be more on Monday in Massachusetts. Sucks for you guys in Massachusetts. Sorry. But anyway, this is normal business. This isn't like, oh, this sucks. Oh, I got this problem. Like I used to say it all the time. And I don't know why I got away from it. We make money in real estate by solving problems, right? And like, I don't want to manifest like, oh my God, I'm like, attracting problems. Like, no, it's not what it is. Like, that's what you do. You solve problems and make money. And that's holds true in life. Quilter's doing it right now. He's solving a problem. He's freaking, how the hell do I make $1 million? I'm going to solve that problem for you. Come on the journey with us. Right. So that's what we do. We solve problems. And by doing that, you add value to people's lives. You add, value to yourself. You make money. Right. So it holds true for real estate. And just, don't lose that mindset when shit hits the fan, because every project, not like Doug a week ago, he had a flip he was finishing. His handyman went on the injured reserve list, unfortunately, in like the 9th inning, right? Like on the 10-yard line. It's like, crap. So what did he do? Hit his network, picked up the phone, he started dialing. And the power of network. Doug has a network like you wouldn't believe. Doug knows everybody. It's ridiculous. Like it's literally ridiculous. Like I'm like, how do you literally know everyone on the planet? Like, oh yeah, I know this person for that. I know this. I'm just like, power of networking. He's been doing it for decades, right? So I think I've rambled enough about pick up the phone, start dialing.
Let's give Mitch Jorsky a round of applause. He's the Scaredy Cat Guide, author of the books Scaredy Cat Guide to Real Estate Investing and Scaredy Cat Guide to knowing what the heck Bitcoin is.
Knowing what the heck Bitcoin is. And again, if you don't know what crypto is, if you're scared you're going to lose money, guess what? Pick up the phone, call someone that can teach you. I might know a guy. There might be products. And guess what? You not only make money by picking up the phone and dialing, you save money because you get taught how not to make mistakes. Because there's a thing, and Walter knows it well. The crypto gods, occasionally we send money to them. I've been in crypto for 5.5 years now. I'm going to admit, I'm going to tell you guys something. It's a little omission. Don't tell anybody because I'm actually embarrassed about it. 2 days ago, I actually made a boo-boo and I sent $2,000 to the crypto gods.
No.
Because I basically just got lazy and didn't pay attention. It was multitasking, and you need to make sure that you are sending your crypto to correct places. So these are the things that I drill into people's heads. And I will sadly admit, I got lazy.
Okay,
And I'm not going to lie, it was something that I don't use regularly. So I got lazy. I made what I call a newbie mistake. So learn from my lessons.
You trumped my $1,000 to the crypto gods. So
doubled it. Who's up for 3,000? Hey, Mitch, we're not going to tell you that we're actually live on Facebook. So you just
let's give Mitch
the whole world knows I made a boo-boo.
Hey, we've all got some blood on the rocks out there while we're learning and figuring this game out.
Experience is the best teacher.
That's right. Rod Cleef has a saying: every single bad situation that's occurred for him in real estate, I think Mitch, you're not quoting this, turns into a seminar. So,
well,
so a lot of these trainings you're getting from us where we're like, hey, make sure you get a stop alerts, make sure you buy the property right, make sure you manage the tenant right. Like it comes from mistakes. It comes from us having done it the wrong way.
Rod always says, ask me how I know.
Ask me how I know.
And it's a great line. And I've said it too. And that's the thing. Like, someone asked me about, crypto and sending stuff to a wallet and whatever. I'm like, don't do this. Don't do this. Ask me how I know.
Yeah.
So.
And also, I think it's instructive, by the way, watch the mindset. Again, look how he went through it. It wasn't like, he's okay with it. He's willing to share it. So, Mitch, thank you. And everyone who's shared your even current mistakes, because that's the thing, too, is that sometimes when we get to a certain place, we think that we should be perfect, that we can't make mistakes. That's not possible. We are humans. We make mistakes. We sometimes get lazy. We sometimes get impulsive. We've all done it, and we will do it again, which is why it's so vital that, again, we surround ourselves in the right community that may be able to hold us to a higher standard, maybe say, oh, wait, hold on. I've done that. Just remember, I know you probably know this, and did you do this, this, and that? Because ask me how I know.
Hands if this is valuable, hearing from the coaches, other millionaires who are doing it in the market right now. Yes. Awesome. So at this